Thank you. Well, it was truly a pleasure to get to know Eric on the campaign trail. Are we excited? Oh, come on. Y'all don't sound very excited. Are we excited? All right. I am so excited. Now, as he mentioned, I'm Mike Harmon. I'm the former Kentucky State Auditor, and I was the guy that was blessed in 2015 to take only 45,000, ran up against Adam Eaglin, who was the incumbent, had 800,000. And Rachel Maddow had described as the next up-and-coming Southern Democrat, and God blessed us with a victory. Now, everybody knows me knows I always like to start with something funny. So there was this Kentucky girl. She fell in love with an Indiana boy, and she calls up her daddy and says, "Daddy, I'm in love with Clarence." Said, "Clarence? Isn't Clarence an Indiana boy?" He said, "Yes, sir, he is." Said, "I don't want you marrying Indiana boys. I hear they're mean. Sometimes they throw chairs." That's an homage to Bobby Knight. God rest his soul. She had little girls. I got two of them. And so she went ahead and get married. 2 years later, she calls up her daddy and says, "Daddy, you're right. Clarence being mean to me." He said, "Don't you worry. Grab your two big brothers. We'll take care of old Clarence." So they hop in the car. They drive up to Louisville. They drive across the bridge to Indiana. But as soon as they cross the bridge, Dad turns around and starts heading right back. Two big brothers says, Daddy, are we going to help Sissy?" He said, "Boys, I'd love to, but did you see that sign across the bridge? Clarence, 11'7". I'm sorry. Now, you know, sometimes in life we see giants. But you know what? God sees grasshoppers. And I am so thankful that, especially in this election cycle, He has allowed President Trump to see the grasshoppers and not the giants. It puts me in mind of God's promise that I believe is true for all of us to hold His word. In Psalms 91, I won't read all of it, but he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor the pestilence that walketh in the dark, nor the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh to thee. Psalms 91 is a call to confidence in God. He will be with us in the battles, especially the spiritual battles. And guess what? This whole country and this whole world is facing spiritual battles. And we've got to make sure that we keep God and keep praying for this country. Now, if you will indulge me, I want to shift topics just a little bit. You know, every year for many years, I went to Fancy Farm. And unfortunately, since I wasn't running for anything, I wasn't statewide office, I didn't get the chance to get an invite this year. So if you will indulge me in a little bit of a Fancy Farm type joke. Now, I've been told by a lot of people that I sound a little bit like Jeff Foxworthy. So I do kind of a Jeff Foxworthy type of routine, but instead of "you might be a redneck," I do "you might be a liberal Democrat." Yeah. Now let's try this. I'm going to try this with a couple of my 2016 ones first, then we'll do some new ones. All right? So I'm going to say something, you're going to say, "you might be a liberal Democrat," all right? So, if you think Benghazi is something you put on a rash, you might be a liberal Democrat. All right, one more old one. If you think having a secure email server means waterproofing your basement, you might be a liberal Democrat. All right, let's bring it into the current. You ready? Are we ready? All right. If Taco Bell is the closest you want to get to the Mexican border, you might be a liberal Democrat. If you get excited about the term choice, but with an asterisk of not educational choice, you might be a liberal Democrat. If you've ever accused someone of being a science denier, but then can't define what a woman is, you might be a liberal Democrat. All right. If your only understanding of inflation is what you do to your service record, you might be a liberal Democrat. If you've ever had your man card taken from you for putting tampons in the boys' bathroom, You might be a liberal Democrat. If you're in favor of late-term abortions, especially when it comes to the current president, you might be a liberal Democrat. If you tell everybody the economy is on fire, but you fail to say that it's a dumpster fire, you might be a liberal Democrat. If you've ever responded to a Jeopardy question of ways to improve safety with, what is defund the police, you might be a liberal Democrat. All right, and finally, if you think the people of this great country can't see through your statement of my values haven't changed, then you are definitely a liberal Democrat. The people of this great country know exactly what my values haven't changed mean. No fracking, higher fuel costs, even higher food and shelter costs, restricting your liberties, and communism on steroids. Yes, we all know what my values haven't changed mean. But don't get down. I still have faith in the people of this great country. Though they have been fed a series of lies, they are still smarter than the liberals give them credit for. And just a reminder, 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and heal their land. Now, I won't go through Psalms 91 again, but I think it's important. I want to encourage you to pray that Psalms 91 we talked about earlier, for yourself and for President Trump, and ask God to provide Donald Trump protection, which I think he has, or he wouldn't be here today, and ask God to provide Donald Trump protection for his victory come this fall. And once again, I pray if we humble ourselves and we turn back to God, then I pray that he will not only use Donald Trump, but he'll use every one of us to make America holy again, to make America prosperous again, to make America safe again, and finally, make America great again. Thank you all, and God bless.